I'm John Georges, and I'm running for governor of Louisiana because we need to create economic opportunity for everybody in Louisiana, not just the very rich, but we're a divided state. We're divided on economic lines. I want to create economic opportunities. But the first thing I'm going to do is have a recovery czar for Louisiana to deal with all the hurricane issues, all the problems with road home, all the problems with insurance, all the problems with hurricane protection. We need somebody in charge of our hurricane recovery. The governor can't do everything. We need monies from Washington, D.C. We need local governments working together with state government. We need to make sure the state bureaucracy doesn't get in the way of monies flowing to people. I've been a businessman my whole life. I've grown small businesses. I've been very inclusive in my management. 60% of my employees are African American. President of my company is a St. Aug graduate. I know what it is to unite people and work with people. When I went to Gina, Louisiana, I could not believe I was the only candidate for governor to go to Gina, Louisiana. And when I went there, I learned a lot about Louisiana. And I showed respect to a lot of people who feel that there's injustices in this state that somebody has to do something about. We're all tired of the politicians using our votes to get elected, and then once they get there, they're cutting their own political deals. I put up my own money to be governor. I'm taking on the political parties. I'm an independent. I have only one person to answer to, and that's the people of Louisiana, particularly the people that are going to elect me as governor. We have an opportunity in this election to elect a person that has turned around failed businesses like Lee Iacocca, that's been independent like Michael Bloomberg, the mayor of New York, that knows government. 6 years I was on the State Board of Regents. 6 years I was on the board of my children's school. I want to put a laptop computer on every student's desk. I want to eliminate income tax for 65 and older. I want to make sure property taxes do not go up more than the rate of inflation. I want to make sure that we build Charity Hospital and rebuild Suno in New Orleans right away. 2 years we've waited long enough. And the congressman in Washington needs to bring home the money. I will be the governor that we all want. I will be the governor that we'll all be proud of. Please consider me, and I'm looking forward to talking to you about the issues that affect our community right here in Louisiana. Thank you.
Good stuff.
Sure.
All right, no, it's perfect. Mr. Georges, when you hear the term diversity, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Opportunity. I think we're divided. We don't have any opportunities. We're spending more time polarizing. That's why I love being an independent. I'm telling you, I didn't know that I would love it. But I meet people that are Republicans that say I'll never vote for a Democrat. And I meet people that are Democrats that say I'll never vote for a Republican. How I ended up as an independent, I'll never know. But God works in mysterious ways. I can work with both people. You know, that's what I've been doing my entire life. I've been very active in politics. When I like this candidate, I vote for them. When I like that candidate, I vote for them. But diversity is opportunity. Why have I been so blessed in my life? I have the most diverse companies of anybody in the state of Louisiana.
Well, that leads me to the second question. How do you ensure fairness in your hiring practices once being selected as governor?
Well, if you have diversity in leadership, it all starts at the top. There will be a diverse leadership in the state, those people that are respected by both races.
Yep.
I'm not talking about the people that tend to polarize themselves.
Right.
None of us want that. You know we all want the same things. If I bring in leaders, and that's the most important thing in government, as a businessman, I can bring in management. You can run government like a business if you bring in managers that run departments. You should get your job because you're the most qualified person, not because you're the most qualified white or the most qualified African American. I think African Americans resent getting a job just because of their race. I think they want to get there, and particularly females. African American females, not only do they have to overcome racial biases, they have to overcome gender biases. They have a double hurdle to overcome. And I understand that because that's the type of leadership I have in my companies.
When you hear the term displaced, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Bringing them back. I think people that have been displaced need to come back. My family lived away for a year while I rebuilt the homes and the businesses and the churches and the schools. Now, they had a good experience. I must say they went to an environment, they learned about ecology, They learn about environment.
Where'd they go?
They went to Colorado.
Okay. Good stuff. What's the role of the governor in addressing Orleans Parish crime rate?
You know, crime, everyone wants to talk about the criminals. I want to talk about the alternatives to criminals.
Right.
Let's rebuild our churches. I know government can't do that, but I know as a leader I can help bring private sector money. There are plenty of foundations, churches helping churches. If you rebuild your churches, when in the old days, when they built the town, they built the churches first. When you drive through New Orleans and see how many churches are not built. But the other answer is that I can reorganize the state police. I can create, in my plan, the Georgia's plan, on the internet, go to Georgia's for Governor. I can create 100 state troopers that fast. Because the state police has become an agency that's become too involved in regulating businesses. We need to get law enforcement officers doing law enforcement job, more professional people. Let's send our National Guard back home. Let's create 100 more troopers. Some will be in New Orleans and some will be on the highways. Also, truancy laws need to be enforced in our schools. I think children today, but you know what? You have to create an opportunity for children.
Right.
And if you don't rebuild the playgrounds, let's put a laptop computer in their home, on their desk. If you have a child like my children, and your child when he gets older, you're going to learn they love computers.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll tell you what, even though it drives moms crazy, I'd much rather my child on a computer than on the television. And I'd much rather my job on a computer than out in the neighborhoods meeting with the wrong people. Computers open up the world to children, creates imagination. My children are on those computers several hours a day, and I want everyone's children to have a computer.
Absolutely. It's the way of the future for sure. Should Charity Hospital be reopened?
Yes, my plan involves immediately rebuilding an LSU teaching institution that not only deals with indigent care, but also those that have health insurance. It should be a model university like LSUS. We don't have to go around the country to learn how to do it. We have one right here in Louisiana. I'm for that. But also Earl K. Long Hospital in Baton Rouge. I'm the only candidate for governor that's been to Earl K. Long Hospital. People are trying to tell you what to do with the future of health care, and they're not willing to go to Earl K. Long Hospital. 16-hour waits for health care. Totally unacceptable for me. Also, I want to tell you this. I signed the blueprint for Louisiana. That's a good plan made by good people to do good things for Louisiana. It doesn't mention wetlands, but I also have a plan, my own plan for wetlands. But when it comes to health care, Blueprint for Louisiana talks about 4 teaching institutions and allowing local communities to decide the future of health care in their communities. For example, in the New Orleans area, how about a hospital in New Orleans East? You know, everyone's fixated just on Charity. But we have areas of the state, the West Bank and in the New Orleans East, in the New Orleans area. I know this is a statewide network, but you know, we start talking about Earl K. Long and Chabert and all the different hospitals around the state. The local community has to have a stake in what type of health care they need. I want to bring health care to the patient, not make the patient go to the health care.
That's a good point. What's the future outlook of underperforming public schools? What would you do about it?
Well, we have to concentrate on New Orleans. If we try to bite off more than we can chew, I mean, I'd be very reluctant for the state to take over more schools until New Orleans has been settled. As you know, it has to return back to the school board in 5 years. So there's a narrow window there, and I talk to community activists and people that know a lot more about education than me, and I know they're very impatient. They want to get control of their own schools. But we have an opportunity now to bring in some of the best minds in America. I'm very impressed with Paul Vallis. I had one meeting with him once. I start talking about the solutions, and he says, oh, I did it here, I did it here, I did it here. They know what they need to do. What we need is a governor to make sure that they do it. And it's very easy. I'm for values curriculum in schools. That's not a big deal.